Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about how to change a battery in your watch if you have a quartz watch. And typically you'll know you have a quartz watch if you pay attention to the second hand. You'll see it ticking, tick, 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 and that will indicate to you that you have a quartz movement. Some quartz movements move a lot smoother like an automatic, but typically you'll have this if you have a quartz movement. So it's really not that difficult to change. We're going to go ahead and pop open the band so we can get more access to the back of the watch, like so. Tools you're going to need, I'll go through those real quickly. If you have a watch case back tool, that's one of the easier ways to do it. These tools can be had off Amazon in like a watch repair kit for less than $20 for the whole kit typically. If you don't have that, you can use a rubber ball. Now I've got this little sucker tool that I use it's an air puff tool. I use it to clean off different things when I want to get dust off of them. If you don't have that, sometimes you risk scratching the back of the watch, but like a small pair of needle nose pliers sometimes can get down in those grooves and you can turn it. I really don't recommend that, but it's like a last-ditch effort. If you've got a watch that's plastic or you really don't care about scratches on the back of it and you really use it a lot and need to change the battery, kind of a last-ditch effort. If you've got the rubber ball, you're supposed to push, and again, you don't want to use one that's open like this because it'll squeeze completely flat. But if you have a sealed, like a, what is it called? Like a racket ball, or one of those rubbery type balls, you can push on the back of the case while you're turning and the friction of the ball will open the case back up. But the tried and true best method is with one of these case back tools because you're actually doing it the way it's intended to be done. You see on the back cover, you can see these little notches all the way around the case, and that's what that is for. This case back tool has these little pins that will actually get into those notches. And so you've got two dials. You've got this top dial here that you can run, like thread it, and it will spread or close. It will make the two outside pins closer or further away, and then the handle you can actually spin and it will bring that third pin back and forward. So what we'll do is we'll hold this in one hand and we'll kind of look visually. What I like to do is put one hole, go ahead and set one pin in the hole, and then run this screw until the other pin gets all the way out where it needs to be. It'll pop into that hole, and then I'll flip the watch over and look at the back pin and do the same thing. I'll run the back pin all the way until it lines up with that little groove right there, and you can feel it pop into place. There we go. And so now all the pins are on the back of the watch case. And now we're going to turn counterclockwise. And you can see it'll break that back case free. Give it a couple more rotations to break it loose. Once it's broke loose, you can hand spin it and tip your watch over. And usually that case back will pop right off. Sometimes you got to give it a few more rotations. There we go. It'll pop off. Now be careful. Sometimes the gasket will stick to the cover here, and like mine, the gasket will stay in the back of the watch. So you see that little black gasket running around the edge. Make sure that stays in place. If it falls out, make sure you put it back in place. There should be a groove around the watch that you can put it in. Let's see if I can pull this one out to show you. There you go. So you can see that little groove that it'll just ride in. So I'll go ahead and set that gasket back in place. This gasket is very important. If you don't get this gasket seated back in place, or if it's damaged, you'll actually get condensation in your watch face if you wear it and you get sweaty, or if you go underwater, you'll get moisture in there and it could damage your watch. So once we have that back cover off, most quartz watches will have this plastic case. Depending on the movement, if the movement is too small for the watch itself, you'll have this spacer. You can pull that out with a pair of tweezers. Pay attention to this notch. That is where your crown stem sits. So when you place it back in, you'll make sure to put that notch back over your crown stem. So now you can see the battery, and a lot of times on these you'll see right over here, you see this little plastic tab with a screw. Behind that there's actually, I'll get it to focus, there's actually a notched edge. And if you take something like a pair of tweezers, you can push, well, it popped the battery out, but you can see that that will actually come out and then sit on top of it. And so we've actually broken that, let's see if we get it to focus. We've actually broken that little tab out from behind the screw to the front of the screw. And the installation will be the same, but opposite. So you'll push it backwards, go behind the screw. You have to kind of play with it a little bit. See, I went too low. You can get it to pop back on top of the screw. There we go. And right behind it like that. And you see this little tab is actually easy to bend. So if you get it bent to where it's too far back, you can just bend it forward. You want it to where, just like this one, it's covering the battery area, and you can kind of push it back and it'll spring back in place. And then with your battery popped out, normally in these watches the positive side will be facing up, and you'll see the negative side will typically look like this. See, I've got another battery here. You'll see the same thing. Positive side is flat and smooth. Negative side will have like a case liner around it. So that's usually how you'll be able to tell, but always look for identifying marks like this plus sign. And so the plus sign will typically go face up in the watch. Place it in there underneath the spring, and then you can see that little tab. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was looking at the watch, not the camera. You can see the little tab is covering up the edge of that battery, and that's what holds it down. If the tab is not covering the edge of it, you can squeeze it a little bit just to get it popped back over there. Or you could just push on the edge of it. There you go. Just to give it a little bit of pressure, and you'll see that holds the battery pretty flat in place. Flip it over to make sure that it is ticking. There we go. And now we're going to start with the reassembly. First we'll put our spacer in there, and again line up the crown pin or the crown stem. It should snap down into place, and you can look and see it's pretty flush with the back of the watch case. Gasket's in place, and now we'll take our case back, set it back on top. I like to hand thread it as much as I can. Sometimes you have to spin it backwards to get the threads at the start. And then we'll take our tool, and we'll just start spinning and tightening the case back. You want to get a good snug seal. There we go, it popped in. I like to go hand tight, and then I'll put like any more rotation I can get out of it. And there we go. Now you can pull your crown out or unscrew it. Set your time. N1 to set the date. And all the way in, and you're good to go. Your watch is set. New battery, good to last you for a lot longer. And then you do it again. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure and check out my other videos for more watch repair tutorials.